Chandu.
Yeah, good evening and wishing you all the very best for the festive season. The minute we think of festivities, the first few things that come to our mind are fun, togetherness, celebrations, and of course, food. So, what better way to flag off the fifth session of Loreto House Alumnae Association's online series of discussions with achievers than to introduce you to the most celebrated culinary experts that our school has ever produced, Rakhi Purnima Das Gupta and Lovey Kapur. Just a little bit about them. Rakhi Purnima Das Gupta comes from a family of foodies, and her mother, QP Das Gupta, wrote Bangla Ranna, which became the definitive book on Bengali cuisine.
Meenakshi, QP Das
Rakhi
Gupta
has followed in her mother's footsteps and gave Bengali cuisine exciting new address at the iconic QPs. She has been running QPs for over 2 decades and also writing about food. Her book, Eating Calcutta, is to be launched soon. Lovey Kapur's passion for food was ignited at a fairly early age. Soon, she took the bold step of moving beyond rustling up fabulous fare for small groups of friends to setting up Cookie Jar. Today, Cookie Jar is known and respected nationally, and Lovey keeps moving from strength to strength. She has imparted national equity to both Cookie Jar and Mangio brands with her innovations and quality. In conversation with our two guests is none other than our very own Oindrilla Dutt, an ideator, debater, moderator, director, and so much more. Odi curates events and is the director of Open Doors. Just a small request before we begin. Please do remember to keep yourselves on mute throughout the session. Thank you. Odi, over to you.
Thanks so much, Chandu. And it's really a double delight for me because this is a personal pleasure. Rakhi and I have been through school together. We don't really want to remember a lot of it, but we have. And Lovey has been a friend for I don't know how long. And I think she will testify to the fact that I have been, when sugar wasn't a problem, one of Cookie Jar's best customers.
Absolutely.
I think I ordered puds from her every week.
Yes.
But really delightful to have you all with us here. And I think it's very exciting. A lot of people can't tune in right now. But what we see is later on when we put it on YouTube, etc., a whole lot of people come on and watch it. So thanks for giving us your time. I'm going to start with Rakhi. Rakhi, you come from a family of foodies who I've had the pleasure of knowing. I mean, we go back a long way. So there was Meenakshi QP Das Gupta, QP Maima, there was Meetu Mama, Chandradeep, Pia. Did you get inspired by them? Did they instill this passion for food in you? And when did you realize that you wanted to do this professionally?
I don't think I was inspired. In fact, I was never allowed in the kitchen. And the discussion would be all around me, but not with me. However, when I went to England to study, and my parents were there, and my mother would say that we should cook. People are coming over. It was like a Bengali household in London. So people would come over. And actually, that's when I started learning how to cook. So
you went to study something, but you moved to this area of interest.
Well, I just did it out of, because I had to do it. And then I saw that I was passionate in it. But I was studying film and television then. But I really got into it and I realized I was good at it. So over the years, I worked in film and television. But subsequently, I went into food later.
Okay. Lovey, how about you? What made you, how did this passion for food germinate in you? I remember you telling me long ago that you used to think of making innovative snacks for auntie's friends when they came over for kitty parties, etc. And when did that translate into this dream that you found this talent in yourself, you realized you had it in you, and you wanted to do it for the rest of your life?
So I started when I was in school. I used to, well, I love baking, not so much cooking. Baking is still my favorite thing to go to. And whenever mom's friends came over or we had any visitors, she'd ask me to make something and she would just leave it to me. And I enjoyed every moment of it. In fact, I miss those days in the kitchen now. But that's how it started. Never imagined that it would be a commercial venture or, I would take it up as a business. But people really appreciated whatever I made. And then they kept asking for more. And finally, I kept giving away freebies, and then it was like it's high time. Friends kept saying that we wanted to do more for us and make this for us, and then they started placing orders, and that's where it was. And Cookie Jar started a couple of years after I started taking orders from the house. Yeah, that's how it became a business.
And it's really nice to hear these things because I've been part of the journey.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Both places. Okay, Rakhi, what made you and Meetu Mama and Pia decide to open this standalone Bangla Ranna eatery, which was so rare in those days? I mean, you had Shuruchi at one end. I think you had Aheli, but that was not in the same league. That was not the same. So what made you take the plunge? Did you think there was a market for it? Because the fear used to be, will Bangalis come to eat Bangla Khabar by day?
Well, it really started in Delhi because I had started a
You spent some years there.
Yeah, I was living there and I started something called Gourmet Club, which is a Thai meal over the weekends at the house. And my father had just retired, and we had our cooks from our catering, which my brother had started. So I said, why don't we just start a small something in the garage? Just try it out, try Bangla Khabar out. And first, of course, there was opposition, and I convinced my dad. I said, just 4 tables. We have everybody. We have the cooks. You just need one waiter, and literally jammed from there. 4 tables in the garage.
I know. So, okay, I'll come to the launch later, etc. But I want to ask Lovey. Lovey, what made you take the plunge and move from making stuff for friends, for relatives, and to opening up Cookie Jar? And I also want to ask you that what has the journey been like? For example, it was immediate, instant success and huge success. But after that came the problems. Business rivals who foisted battles on you. How did you deal with it? How did you regroup? How did you recover? How did you resurrect?
So I'll start right in the beginning. I was taking orders from the house for just some desserts, and that became quite a bit. And we were just so. And mom was always behind me and supporting me in this and encouraging me for whatever I wanted to do. So then it was decided that in the garage at home, I could set up a slightly bigger oven and then set up more of a production capacity. We needed to hire more people. But then after doing that, we needed a steady flow of customers and business as well to be able to pay the salaries and everything. So we decided to open this little shop on Rawdon Street, which was half the size of the existing one right now. So that's how we started. And my parents, they said, okay, fine, we'll just get you this property and try it out. If it works, great. If not, the property is always there. So with a small amount of money and a lot of help from family and friends, we started this. And I remember that the first day we thought that we were going to be making enough things to last us a week, at least the cookies and things. And within the first few hours, everything was sold out. I remember like my sister Pooja, her friends, everybody were behind the counters trying to cope with the pressure. And instead of welcoming people there in the shop, I had to run back to the production unit to start making much more stuff because we had nothing to sell for the next day. So that was how it started, and very encouraging. And that was the small cookies that we started with in 85. And so we kept, well, the demand kept growing and we did well. It became very popular thanks to all the Calcuttans and everything. And about, well, maybe like 10 years into the business, we were quite set. And then some people, as in competition, wanted to set up competition. They wanted to, the whole slogan was that sab kuch same hoga, khali malik dusra hoga. And by saying that, they wanted to open Cookie Jar, the brand name Cookie Jar as well, in the same location, as in the same building next to us. And while all this was going on, they created a labor trouble, which was all sort of an act.
Engineered.
Yeah, engineered and everything, and make sure that there would be a lockout in our unit. So we would never be able to open, and they would take the name, the same address. People would not know what was happening. But that's when my sister Pooja had not joined us in business. She was still in college. And that's when she started helping me as well. And we went running around. We got our brand name registered. That's how we still have the name Cookie Jar, which it was just by the nick of a few moments that we got it saved, because those people had already gone to get the paper signed for, and apply for the same thing. But we were lucky, and with everybody's help, we are still there and we got back. We had to train our entire staff again. And that's when Pooja and me put the whole thing together. And we are here now, so many years, and we are back on track. And now we have 5 stores, and we have Manjo, and so on.
In fact, I remember that time. It was really tough. And I remember so clearly that these people walked off with the molds, with her baking dishes, of course, her recipes. So it must have been devastating. But here she is, twice as successful, 10 times as successful. So really, I think that spurred her on. I want to ask both of you that in the food business, what is the most difficult part? Is it dealing with client complaints, dissatisfaction, or indiscipline? What is the most difficult? Is it the financial part, budgeting, planning? What? Both of you. Rakhi?
Okay.
Yeah, you go first. Okay. Lovey.
Okay. So I think the main thing is to sustain the consistency and the quality of your product. And you should know your product well, because sustaining labor, as you've just heard my story, people come and go. If your product is good, and if you're giving people good food, good quality, they'll come back. So I think that takes care of all the client complaints. Them good food. I don't think I've had to face too much of that. The problems I've had to face all along is to sustain the quality and the standard. With the rising prices, with the new labor, there's a lot of changes all along. But I think that is the biggest challenge for me. That has been.
Rakhi, what's the most challenging part for you?
Well, I would say, of course, the prices going up and down, and how to keep up menu prices reasonable but make a profit. But labor is the most problematic.
Okay.
You know, because if you don't have the right labor, you can't produce the right food. And your food has to have a certain consistency. So if you don't have the consistency, you don't have a good product. So that is very important.
Okay, Rakhi, I want to ask you something. When we started QPs, there was such excitement, I remember. And I was part of that because I launched QPs. I handled the launch. And we had this big lunch at a leading club, and where we had people fighting to get at those prawns. And we had discussion and tea at Oxford, and we had dinner. at QP's at Elgin Lane. Now,
Yes.
at that time, you were the only one. Or whatever it is, there's been a huge mushrooming of Bangla restaurants, Bangla covered eateries.
No,
Do you think that's helped you in a way? I mean, more the merrier, people get used to going out for Bengali meals, or has it affected your business?
oh, definitely affected my business. Most definitely. Because now, before, you didn't have para, every para didn't have a Bengali restaurant.
Yeah.
Now every para has a Bengali restaurant. A lot of people would come from Salt Lake and Behala and way out, Diamond Harbour, to come and eat at QP's. I'm having that during the pujas, but I'm not having that every day. It's the traffic, it's all so many things that are
so many choices.
Yeah. And there is a plethora of Bengali restaurants. And the caliber, I won't say, is very good. Some are good and some are really awful, but they are there. And their pricing is different from mine. So definitely, if you get the same thing at quarter of the price, you'll go there without realizing as I said, the quality and everything. So a lot of people today are not really concerned about
perfect quality.
Perfect quality and the traditional Bangla. They're making a Bengali hodgepodge, should I say? But that's also selling, so why not?
Why not? Yeah. And that reminds me of something that Lovey had said. Her ingredients mostly come from overseas. Oh, she gets the best ingredients, let's put it like that, whether it's from India or wherever. Now, the rivals who tried to break her business certainly don't do that, so they can offer a lower price. But to the discerning palate, there is a definite difference. And you can make out.
So, yes, you can make out between Bhola Bhetki and Bhetki, right?
Absolutely.
But not everybody can. When you make a fish fry, not everybody can.
Okay.
You understand what
you can certainly make out between a nut corner, which has just those ingredients, or a death by chocolate and anything else. So,
yeah. So, so some people go for the Bhola Bhetki and say, fine, it is Bhetki. So, it's, but people are eating out more, but they're willing to spend less, which is amazing.
In fact, an amazing amount of people are eating out and not cooking at home.
Yes.
So often. I wanted to check that. Quick question to both of you. COVID really saw a downturn. It was devastating for the food and hospitality business. Has it now? It seems to have recovered. Not just recovered, it seems to be doing even better. So would you say, Lovey, that is how it is today?
Well, we actually didn't have such a hard time during COVID. It was bad, but not as the restaurants, because our bakery was on.
Okay.
So, because you see, the bakery and the pastry business was on, because we were allowed to deliver and all that. So it wasn't bad, but it was hard in any case. Having said that, it is getting back on track. I'm not saying that it's like booming as everyone else is saying, because also a lot of these home chefs and those sort of people have come up during COVID. And like Rakhi said, that there are a lot of people not so discerning and they're eating anything, and it goes by that. But I think it's going to get back. I'm very hopeful. Looking forward to
I'm sure it will. Sure it will. Okay, Lovey. Talking about you, I'll come to Mangio later. But, you started as a Calcutta brand. And in the national scope of things, that is always seen as small. Today, today Cookie Jar is talking. Really, there is a national presence. I'm going to. There are big ticket weddings, for example, that are talked about, socialite weddings, etc., or events. one would never have thought that a Calcutta brand would be there along with the best in the country catering. And you're there. So what kind of justification do you feel, and how did it happen? How did you make it happen?
Well, we catered for a lot of weddings in Calcutta at some point, and whoever came from outstation wanted us to cater for them. And we are a little selective in what we can do, because we've kept it very niche because of being able to sustain the quality. And that's how we've managed to get there. And I'm sure if somebody tastes our food once, they would like to definitely have it for their weddings.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, thank you. And so we did something in Ahmedabad, Ahmedabad is much in the news now, but we did a catering there, which was a great success. And I think in Calcutta, we're very proud of the quality of the work that we do. And Calcuttans itself are very discerning of the quality of food. So when we take this to other cities, it comes across and people enjoy that. You know, and I think our menus are very innovative. That also helps. It's not, and we curate the menu for the event, keeping the family's needs and requirements and tastes in mind. And that's how we are able to be in the top events. Yes.
I have to tell you a story here. Shireen Batliwala was here at the Taj, and the Taj was my client, and we would sit together and brainstorm about how to make many things different. And I thought that that pastry shop just wasn't doing it right then. So I said, you have to go and have cookie jars pastries. They're light, they're not heavy. And I even talked about the President's patisserie in Bombay. I thought that was the best amongst the Taj group ones. And Shireen actually got a whole lot of stuff from you. And we sat and dissected it. So that shows you what kind of brand equity you already had then. Okay, Rakhi, I want to ask you about your writing. I know QP Maima wrote Bangla Ranna, which is something that people still ask for from abroad. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be available anywhere. And writing about food. This is something you really want to do? Are you doing it because, you know, it's expected and you're getting an offer? Is it an exciting thing?
Not at all. It was basically all my life work of writing being put into a book. That is the basic premises of the book. My travels, my encounters with people, foodies, and all that been put into a book. So that's it. And basically Kolkata, eating in Kolkata, growing up in Kolkata. And in fact, Lovey's done a chapter there, and so have you. So all of you are included in the book.
Can't wait. So hopefully it will be launched in what, December, Jan?
I think Jan. I think in Jan, because
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay. Lovey, I want to ask both of you this question, and I want you to answer very honestly. Two questions, really. What is your favorite cuisine? What kind of cuisine do you like? And just because you're in Bangla food, or Rakhi is also a really wonderful Thai chef, it doesn't have to be those. It can be something else. What would be the one restaurant you would choose to eat at other than your own in Calcutta? Rakhi.
Well, right now I'm partial to Japanese food.
Okay.
So my would be Zen at the Park.
Okay. Lovey?
For me, I love Italian food. I love everything.
But the one can see that.
And of course, Japanese would be my next favorite, or the same actually. And in Calcutta, I keep going back to Chinoiserie at the Taj.
Okay. I love that too. In fact, they launched those years and years ago with a dish called Gulu chicken, which was on the menu. They've taken it off the menu a number of times, but I keep asking for it. So I still
We
keep
must
getting
get that.
it. It's like death by chocolate. I don't know why you decided to take it off the menu, but it was wonderful. And I have to share with people that the first day Death by Chocolate had been made at Cookie Jar, I think it was 1991 or 92, because I was at O&M and these 4 Death by Chocolates arrived in office with a note saying, please try it and give us a feedback. And I fell in love with that. So tell me something else. Lovey, you've never thought about writing like a book?
No, I actually thought about it during the COVID time.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, somehow I never got down to it. I prefer the hands-on practical experience of doing it all. So
you should write.
Yes,
you should write.
Yes, I'll get encouraged by you. At some point I will. I don't say no to it, but up till now I haven't.
Okay. Okay, a whole lot of people are going to be seeing this. Not many are there on screen today, have tuned in, but they do watch it on YouTube and when we put it on Facebook later. For all those people, Loreto girls, young girls who have a dream of going into the food business and making a success of it, what would be your advice?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Keep
don't
quiet,
do it. Don't do it.
No. I'm sure Lovey's going to be more positive. Come on, Lovey.
Yeah, go for it. If you have the passion for it, go for it.
And how important...
Mine, don't do it means that you give your life to it. That's why I'm saying don't do it. Because your whole life it's gone.
Well, if you enjoy it, it's okay.
That's it. If you have the passion for it, go for it.
Yeah. So, Lovey, tell us about the progression to Mangio. How did that come about? You had Cookie Jar. It was a really flourishing business. Everybody wanted your foods, your cakes, your savories.
Yes.
So how did Mangio come about?
So what a lot of
Mangio.
People, what a lot of people didn't know at that time was that we were doing this, the food, like Italian, Oriental, creative cuisines, we were doing for the caterings, outdoor caterings. And then, so we did that for quite a while. And eventually we thought, why not let people get a taste of it as well? And then there was a big demand for people to, they wanted to have our pastries with a nice cup of coffee or tea. And that's how this whole thing came about. So we started this all-day dining place, part of our pastry shop in Aleppo. And we said, people could come in and have a breakfast or lunch, tea, or just a cup of coffee with a pastry. And that's how it came about. And here we are.
I know, here we are. Rakhi, you were into the catering business. I mean, QP's was. Yes, I remember Chandradeep and after that. So what is it? Is it to do with the fact that you talked about labor, you talked about manpower? Was that what made you stop? Was it too much to handle?
Well, we had another partner who retired shortly last year.
And he died also? No?
No, he didn't die. Thank God.
Okay, sorry.
And also this COVID really bothered us. We were devastated with the COVID thing. So altogether, the catering unit shut down. But we are now starting to perk up and do small caterings, but not the huge ones we were used to do, like the weddings, 300-400 people. No, I don't think right now we are into that capacity. We're 35-40 people, that kind of.
In fact, Rakhi, I wanted to ask you, and I'm sure Lovey will agree, I think, wouldn't the returns on catering be much higher than the returns on the regular food business?
Yes, it would be.
It would.
In many ways.
So it would be worth your while.
Yes,
But
it would be
yeah, the
worthwhile.
only thing I want to add here is that
Yeah.
it's very seasonal, but you're retaining the staff through the year. So that's an
Ah.
expense to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something
Okay.
we have to bear with. Because in the summers, there's nothing that happens in any.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Tell me, pop-ups are the thing that a lot of people are doing. In fact, Rakhi has started doing pop-ups. Now,
1 second, Oindrilla, 1 second.
yeah. Don't be mean.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
I know you have started doing pop-ups at Srila's baby's place.
Yeah.
So do you think that is a good way forward?
What we are doing basically is showcasing home cooks with a good hand. I mean, they really should be good. And then putting them up. I mean, I did the first one, but we've got another couple lined up. And also through the gourmet club, which we are having, gastronoms. There are a lot of students coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
So we are also planning to have them showcase their food and, give us a talk about the country, their food and all.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting as well. So it's
that should.
We're going to do pop-ups, but in different kinds of way. It's not just a pop-up and somebody comes and cooks, but there'll be interest in the food.
Value additions. Yeah,
value additions. Absolutely.
Lovey, you have had a number of branches of Cookija, and they were initially, I think you had trouble with the franchisees not following or keeping up a certain quality. So how do you handle that now?
Now we have our own stores. We haven't.
Sorry?
We have our own stores.
Okay. So they're all done by you?
Yes. We handle them, and it's our people, and we control what goes in there. Everything is, they're our own stores. We don't have any franchises.
Okay.
We haven't done that yet.
Yeah. And have you thought of moving beyond Calcutta with a permanent place?
It's tempting, but at the moment, I'm not able to cope with what Calcutta demands. So let's hope so. Always look forward to it. Yeah.
Okay, I've got exciting news for all those who are listening and all those who are going to be listening. I've got Rakhi and Lovey to agree to give us a simple recipe each, but that thought itself is mouth-watering because to get a recipe from two master chefs is very difficult. So, Lovey, why don't you go first? Tell us a bit about it. I'm going to ask Shamunai to put it on screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Shamunai.
Yeah, I've given the recipe of an orange sunshine cake. This was my favorite cake to bake when I started baking from home. It's my mom's recipe, and I'm happy to share it with people. In fact, it was a bit of a challenge for me to locate it because now we do things in large quantities, and to get back into measuring into cups and things was a bit of a challenge. But I hope, and it's pretty simple, but it's interesting. It's not, it's got some interesting ingredients, and I hope everybody enjoy baking it.
So are they, could we just move on to the method? Oh, okay. Yeah. The next page. Yeah. So do you have any special tips, Lovey?
Like I've said, that you should not overbeat the cake once the flour has been added. Okay. And also I've given a serving suggestion to serve it warm with our ice cream, Cookija vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'll come back to that later, the ice creams that you branched out into. Okay, could we have the recipe from Rakhi? And I must say this was a request from me that I want an item, a jol khabar item. Because for Bengalis, jol khabar is so important. Tea time, snacks and savories. So, Rakhi.
Yeah.
Is this yours or QP Maima's?
No, this is from my book.
Okay.
So, it's mine. So, basically, It is called the Dime Devil. I like the way I say Dime Devil.
Yeah.
Because it's deviled eggs. And this is actually a deviled egg because normally what they do is split the egg in half.
Half, yeah.
Yeah. But here I'm saying not to split it in half. And the one tip I can give you, once you do crumb it, cool it in the fridge for a while before you fry it.
Okay.
Don't fry it immediately.
Okay.
So it becomes slightly hard. The crumbs and everything mesh together. And if it's in the fridge, then it cools the whole thing down. So you get a very nice crunchy outside.
Okay. And it binds better, I suppose.
Yes.
Okay. So everyone, you're going to be those who can't take this down right away. You're going to be having this on YouTube and Facebook. So 2 recipes, one from Lovey Kapur, one from Rakhi Purnima Das Gupta. Treasure them. Okay, back to our discussion. We have 5 minutes of discussion time and then 5 minutes for questions. Ida, I hope there are some questions. Tell me, Lovey, I'll start with Lovey. I know that Auntie was a huge influence and help. And Pooj, of course, Pooja, your sister, is rock solid behind you. But I mean, if you had to choose one person who you took inspiration from, 1, 2 people, who would that be? Even people not in family, people you read about, talk about, and you like the way they've conducted their lives in food. Who would that be?
For me, it was my mother, for sure.
Yeah, I know.
And she has been my inspiration, my source of strength through thick and thin, and the reason how Kukija started and we are still here. That certainly is Mom. She was also my business partner when we started, and
she was always there.
She was there. She took care of the entire. I mean, a lot of things I didn't even know. I just kept baking, which I was good at. Everything else she took care of and encouraged me all along, and that's it. And also the recipes. A lot of the recipes we started with were hers. So that's it. That was us. And in those days, I mean, her generation, not too many women were working and doing this, but she did, and she helped me a lot.
You know, here I'm going to ask you, when you think of innovations, Lovey, for example, when you made Death by Chocolate, nobody had made anything like that here before, and I would know. When you made this toffee caramel biscuity kind of
your favorites, yeah,
which I love, yeah. And recently I had something from there, which was chicken tikka patty. They're different, and you're constantly evolving and innovating. How does it come to you? Do you actually sit and think that how can I make my food different and come up with new innovative items? How does that happen?
Once we've been around, Kukija has been around for almost 40 years now. So we have to keep innovating to stay afloat and to be there on top of it. So a lot of the inspiration is from travel. A lot of it is from understanding what people want. Even the people's tastes as they keep evolving. In fact, people's tastes have evolved a lot over the years, and the exposure to a lot of ingredients has increased as well. And so you have to be at it. You have to, listen to what your customers want. And then, of course, we do a lot of experimenting in our kitchens, our bakery. And when we are all satisfied, it goes. People like you will give us your comments, and then it's there on the shelves of Kukija. Yeah.
Okay. Rakhi, for you, I would think that it's a little different. Maybe with Bangla Ranna, there is not too much of innovation that you want to do. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, is it?
People are doing enough. I don't need to do. I want
Absolutely.
to keep back.
You want Bangla Ranna to taste like Bangla Ranna.
Yeah,
Not be
So
fusion Bangla Ranna.
let them do the fusion. I stay to the tradition.
Yeah, that's I thought that yours would be different.
I don't
Yes.
believe in fusion either. No fusion for
I
me
know,
also.
I know.
Yeah, I think we're
I
both
know.
traditionalists in that matter.
Yeah, you do innovation, but not fusion.
No,
But
Okay,
I
I'm
do
going to
see-
ask a quick question, last question, before we go on to questions. Chandu, Ira, I hope there are some questions here. And what in the next, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, what do you see your path? Which way do you see yourselves going? What do you want to do that is different from what you already have done? Is it a maintenance thing that you want to keep doing, carry on the way you have? Do you want to move forward, to put a national imprint of your footprint? What are your dreams?
Well, in my case, I want to definitely move, because most of my clients are now passing away. So, after 25 years, those who came, their children. So now I have to work around about trying to get a younger group to come and eat Bangla Khabar.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some innovation in that to work how to bring them in. A lot of people now wants a snack. Now we never had things like snacks.
Yeah. Joy Khabar, the great Joy Khabar, Rakhi.
Yeah, but not when you start a meal. But this is like starting a meal.
True.
Can we have something snacky or whatever? So I have to innovate on that. What is the new clientele looking for? And of course, Joy Khabar is there. Definitely. Moving towards that.
Rakhi, just move your screen a bit. Yeah, that's better. Not just that, I would think, Rakhi, that it's a business opportunity also, because these youngsters do not know Bangla Khabar, but they've tasted it with their parents. They don't know how to reproduce that. So it's a good thing that you're there. They can come there and get what they tasted, but they don't know how to reproduce. Lovey, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
I would like Kukida to have a national presence.
Yeah.
And so I think we are definitely working on that. And I'm sure we'll get there in 5 years. Hopefully.
Wonderful. And anyway, why stop at national? For example, I have to mention somebody else here, dear friend, Monica Liu, who's Chinese, but she went and opened an Indian restaurant in Shanghai and ran it very successfully for a couple of years until they make it very difficult for her to import to take ingredients into China.
Okay.
So why not nationally? I can see a Manju in Italy.
Oh, wow.
That'd be fun.
I know. Please come in, Ira, Chandu.
No questions, but one question from me. Lovey, but tell us about your ice creams. How did you get into the ice cream?
Well, we started making ice creams in small batches and experimenting at home, and then
that was the Italian influence, was it?
It definitely having the ice creams every time one traveled. So our ice creams that we make are still made in very small batches, and they're not commercial, as in we use the freshest of ingredients and real ingredients. And so if it's cream and milk, everything is used fresh. Even the fruit is like fresh fruit, or chocolate is real chocolate. And it's made daily in small batches, and that's what we do. That's why we stuck to very few flavors and not
but the salted caramel is to die for, I can say that.
Thank you.
Very creamy. And I also want to talk about Pia in passing. Innovation is something, and Rakhi will bear me out on this. They all do it, both the sisters have done it, not just with Rakhi, not just with Bengali food, but with Thai food as well and other food. I remember once for my birthday, Pia really spoiled me. I was her younger sister's friend, so I was an object to be spoiled. And she sat up the whole night with rasgullas. I don't know how she did it. Rakhi might know. She filled it with chocolates and then she coated each rasgulla in chocolate. It wasn't that I loved the taste, but it was such a novel concept. And I think that is something that a true, truly inspired food genius does. They think beyond the boundaries, they think out of the box. And so often, maybe not always, it turns out right and unique. So to two absolutely unique chefs and marvelous food people that we have, not just in the city, but probably in the country, thank you for making time to be with us. Thank you so much, Rakhi, Lovey.
Thank you.
Rakhi hasn't been well, and Lovey is itching to get back to all those orders that are coming her way. And thanks so much, all of you who have tuned in. Please look out for this on Facebook and on YouTube. And now I'm going to ask Lippy to give the vote of thanks. Again, another classmate of Rakhi's and mine.
Right.
Good evening. It is such a pleasure. Well, Rakhi and I have actually grown up together because our parents were also very good friends. And, and we are ancient now. So it's been like many, many years since.
You speak for yourself, Lippy. Okay. I was going to say Lippy Basu, I stopped myself.
And Lovey, of course, who doesn't know? We have to be eternally thankful to Lovey because she gave us the taste of international confectionery. We didn't know. I mean, we actually didn't know what a real chocolate pastry tastes like till Lovey brought it to Calcutta. And I mean, I remember when my children were little, they loved those chocolate boats. I mean, because they couldn't eat very much more than that, but just that was enough for them. And Rakhi, of course, I would say Mitu Mama and Rakhi and Chandradeep to an extent, they brought our kitchen into a restaurant. I mean, the stuff we ate at home was available. And of course, Kupimashi, and it's also at this point, I must say, Mamima, that's Joya Chaliha, also very much part of Bangla Ranna. That is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I think, newly married person, be it a man or a woman,
wanted Bangla Ranna and Calcutta cookbook.
And if you had Bangla Ranna, you always delved into it.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. So both of you have made immeasurable. You've added immeasurably to Calcutta and the cuisine of Calcutta. And
thank you.
Gain from strength to strength and carry this on. Here, of course, my good friend Oinki, I must say thank you to her, though she didn't want to do, she thinks she's done too many of these moderating things. And, now she's so great, she doesn't want to do it anymore. But unfortunately, nobody will let her go. So
I think people are fed up of seeing my face, but then I'm dealing with others, Loreto girls, who are making life so difficult for me. No, can't do it, won't do it. Anyway.
And of course, we must thank our backup people like Shamunnoy for making this session happen. Thank you very much. We will not waste any more time. And look forward to seeing you around, and lots more. Lovey and Rakhi, we look forward to many new things coming out of your stables. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you,
and goodbye.
Bye.
Shamunnoy.